Propolis Tincture, harvesting propolis and creating medicinal tinctures. If you've ever opened a beehive, you know the sticky resinous bee glue that seems to seal everything shut. Now, that stubborn aromatic substance is propolis, and while it might be a nuisance for a beekeeper trying to pry frames apart, it is one of the most potent natural medicines found in the hive. Creating your own propolis tincture is a rewarding way to harness the immune-boosting, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory properties of the hive. Whether you're a hobbyist, beekeeper looking to utilize every hive product, or a natural health enthusiast wanting to stock your home apothecary, this guide will walk you through the entire journey from the sticky harvest to the final drop of amber-colored medicine. What exactly is propolis? Before we dive into the how, let's talk about the what. Propolis is a complex mixture that honeybees create by collecting resins from tree buds like poplar, willow, and birch, and mixing them with beeswax, pollen, and their own salivary enzymes. In the hive, propolis serves as an immune system for the entire colony. Bees use it to seal cracks and gaps to keep out cold drafts, sterilize the hive, coating the interior of brood cells before the queen lays eggs, mummify intruders like mice that are too large to be carried out of the hive after being killed, preventing rot and disease. Because it is derived from tree resins, propolis is packed with phenolic compounds, flavonoids, and essential oils. When we turn it into a tincture, we are essentially extracting these bioactive compounds into the shelf-stable, easy-to-use liquid form. Harvesting propolis, the sticky business. The first step in making a tincture is getting your hands on high-quality raw propolis. There are two primary ways to harvest it: scraping and trapping. 1. The scraping method. This is the most common method for hobbyists. During your regular hive inspections, you'll find propolis built up on the top bars of frames, the inner cover, and the hive body. How to do it: use your hive tool to gently scrape the resin away. Pro tip: be mindful of what you're scraping. Propolis collected from the top bars is usually the cleanest. Avoid scraping from the bottom board or near the entrance, where dirt, bee pots, and debris are more likely to be mixed in. The downside: this method yields small amounts at a time and often includes small bits of wood or beeswax. Tip 2, using propolis traps. If you want a significant harvest with minimal effort, a propolis trap is the way to go. These are plastic screens with narrow slots that replace the inner cover. How to do it: place the trap on top of the uppermost box. Since bees dislike gaps in light, they will work feverishly to fill the slots with propolis. Once the slots are full, remove the trap. The freeze and flex trick: propolis is incredibly sticky at room temperature, but becomes brittle when frozen. Put your filled trap in a large plastic bag and stick it in the freezer for a few hours. Once frozen, flex the trap over a clean bowl and the propolis will shatter and fall right out. Preparing your raw propolis for extraction. Once you have your raw material, you need to clean and prep it. Raw propolis is usually a mix of resin, beeswax, and occasionally a stray bee wing or wood chip. The water bath cleaning. Put your harvested propolis in a bowl of cold water. Give it a good stir. What happens? Pure propolis is denser than water and will sink to the bottom. What to remove? Wax, wood chips, and light debris will float to the top. Skim these off and discard them. Drying: spread the cleaned propolis on a paper towel and let it dry completely. Moisture is the enemy of a good tincture, as it can encourage mold or dilute the alcohol, breaking it down. For the best extraction, you want as much surface area as possible. Since propolis is like rock candy when cold, put your cleaned, dry propolis back in the freezer. Once frozen solid, you can pulse it in a dedicated coffee grinder or wrap it in a heavy cloth and smash it with a hammer to create a coarse powder or small granules. Creating the tincture: the science of solvents. To extract the medicinal properties of propolis, you need a solvent. While some people use oil or water, alcohol is the gold standard. Propolis resins do not dissolve well in water, but they dissolve beautifully in high-proof ethanol. Choosing your alcohol. Do not use isopropyl rubbing alcohol. It is toxic. You need food-grade, high-proof ethanol. 70% to 95% alcohol. A high-proof grain alcohol, like Everclear, or a very high-proof vodka works best. Why 70%? Research suggests that a 70% alcohol solution, 70% ethanol, 30% water, actually extracts more of the beneficial flavonoids than a 100% pure alcohol, as the water component helps pull out the few water-soluble elements. The golden ratio. A standard medicinal ratio for a propolis tincture is 1.5 or 110 by weight. For a 1.5 ratio, use 100 grams of propolis for every 500 milliliters of alcohol. For a 110 ratio, use 50 grams of propolis for every 500 milliliters of alcohol. If you don't have a scale, a loose rule of thumb is to fill a glass jar about 1/3 full with propolis and then cover it with alcohol until the jar is nearly full. Step-by-step maceration. Maceration is just a fancy word for soaking. This is where the magic happens. Combine. Place your ground propolis in a clean glass jar. A mason jar works perfectly. Pour your chosen alcohol over it. Seal and label. Tighten the lid. Label the jar with the date, the type of alcohol used, and the ratio. The dark place. Store the jar in a cool, dark cupboard. Light can degrade some of the sensitive compounds in the resin. The daily shake. For the next 2 to 4 weeks, give the jar a vigorous shake once or twice a day. This keeps the particles moving and ensures the alcohol is constantly coming into contact with fresh resin. Watch the color. You will notice the liquid turning a deep, rich amber or dark chocolate brown. This is a sign that the resins are successfully dissolving. Filtering and bottling. After about a month, the alcohol will have extracted as much as it can. It's time to separate the liquid gold from the leftover dross, the undissolved solids. The setup. Use a fine mesh strainer lined with several layers of cheesecloth or a paper coffee filter. The pour. Slowly pour the mixture through the filter into a clean bowl or another jar. Be patient. Propolis is waxy, and it can clog a coffee filter quickly. You might need to change the filter a few times. On the final container, transfer the filtered tincture into dark glass, amber, or cobalt dropper bottles. The dark glass protects the tincture from light damage. How to use your propolis tincture. Now that you have a potent homemade medicine, how do you use it? Propolis is incredibly versatile. 1. Internal use for immune support. At the first sign of a scratchy throat or a cold, many people take 5 to 10 drops of tincture. Note, a propolis has a very strong resinous taste and can stick to your teeth. It's often best to drop it into a spoonful of honey, a small glass of water, or juice. 2. Oral health. Because of its antibacterial properties, propolis is excellent for the mouth. Mouthwash. Add a few drops to a small amount of water for an antiseptic rinse. Canker sores. Apply a drop directly to a canker sore or an inflamed gum area to speed up healing. 3. Topical application. Propolis acts as a liquid bandage. Wounds and scrapes. Dab a little onto minor cuts or abrasions. The alcohol cleans the wound, and the propolis leaves a protective antimicrobial film over the skin. Acne. Its anti-inflammatory properties can help calm localized skin breakouts. Safety and precautions. While propolis is a natural wonder, there are a few things to keep in mind. Bee allergies. If you are allergic to bees or bee stings, use propolis with extreme caution. Start with a tiny patch test on your skin to ensure you don't have a reaction. Staining. Propolis stains everything. It will stain your clothes, your countertops, and your skin. Handle your tincture with care. Pregnancy and nursing. As with any herbal supplement, consult a healthcare provider before use if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Storage and shelf life. One of the best things about an alcohol-based tincture is its shelf life, because the alcohol acts as a powerful preservative. Your Propolis tincture will remain potent for 3 to 5 years, provided it is kept in a cool, dark place. If you find that some sediment settles at the bottom over time, don't worry. That's just the nature of natural extracts. Simply give the bottle a quick shake before use. Final words. Making your own Propolis tincture is a beautiful way to connect with the wisdom of the honeybee. It transforms a sticky byproduct into a sophisticated medicinal tool that can support your family's health year-round. By following these steps, harvesting cleanly, choosing the right solvent, and being patient during the maceration process, you ensure that your home apothecary is stocked with the highest quality bee glue medicine possible.